At the back of a dresser drawer, in a small wooden box, sat a medal wrapped in yellowing cloth. It smelled faintly of old paper and time. It wasn't displayed on the wall or framed behind glass. Most people who visited the house never even knew it existed, and that was exactly how the man who earned it wanted it. His name was Thomas Keller, but everyone called him Tom. He grew up in a quiet Midwestern town, the kind of dependable kid teachers loved. When his draft notice arrived, he didn't argue or run. He just folded the letter, kissed his mom, shook his dad's hand, and got on a bus. War didn't feel real at first. It was just long days, shouted orders, and sore muscles. The reality arrived much later, in a place far from home, loud, sudden, and permanent. Tom never talked much about the day that earned him the medal. When anyone asked, he'd just shrug and say, "I was just doing my job." But the official citation told a fuller story. His unit had walked straight into an ambush. The radio operator was hit first, then the medic. Chaos erupted. The enemy fire was heavy, pinning everyone down with no clear escape. Someone had to get to the damaged radio to call for support, but the open ground was a killing zone. Tom didn't wait for orders. He ran. Bullets kicked up dirt at his boots. Halfway there, a searing pain shot through his leg, but he kept moving. He reached the radio, dragged the wounded operator to safety, and called in coordinates with shaking hands. Then he went back, and back again. He pulled others out of the line of fire, applied pressure to wounds, and shouted encouragement when voices were fading. By the time support arrived, Tom had lost a lot of blood. His actions had saved multiple lives. Weeks later, in a makeshift ceremony, a commanding officer pinned the medal to his uniform. There were photos and handshakes. In the picture, he looks thinner, his eyes older, his smile tight. When he came home, the town held a small parade. People clapped and called him a hero. Tom waved back, embarrassed, just wishing it would end. After that, life moved on. He got a job at a factory, married his high school sweetheart, and raised 2 kids. He coached Little League and fixed neighbors' cars. He never introduced himself as a veteran. The medal went into the drawer. Years passed. Some nights, he'd wake up sweating, his heart racing, hearing sounds no one else could. He never talked about that either. One afternoon, decades later, his granddaughter found the box while cleaning. "What's this, Grandpa?" she asked, holding up the medal. Tom sat down slowly. "That's just something from a long time ago," he replied. "But it's beautiful," she said. "Did you win it?" He smiled gently. "I didn't win anything. Some men didn't come home. I just happened to." She frowned. "But this means you were brave." Tom looked at the medal in her small hands. "It means I was scared," he said softly. "And I did what needed to be done." When Tom passed away, the medal was found again, still in its box. This time it didn't go back into the drawer. His family framed it, not for pride, but for remembrance. At the funeral, a veteran who had served with Tom stood to speak, his voice shaking. "That medal doesn't just belong to Tom," he said. "It belongs to every man who didn't make it back, and to every man who carried the weight of coming home." The medal now hangs quietly in a hallway, not as a symbol of glory, but of sacrifice. It reminds us that heroism isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just a man who lives an ordinary life, carrying extraordinary moments in silence. The medal shines, but the man who earned it was always greater than the medal itself. Thanks for watching.